Well, hello there. I've always been a fan of literature, and all my life, ever since I was very, very young, I wanted to be a writer. I learned to read at a pretty early age, and so I started reading everything that I could, every author that I could find. And one of the earliest authors I started reading when I was young, and even though I didn't understand it, I had to go through it a couple of times and look up all the words, and it took me a while. Was Dickens, and I've always been Dickens has always been on the top of my list. And I had a teacher once say to me, this again, I was really young, and it was elementary school, and I had checked out a Charles Dickens book, and I read, it was Great Expectations, and the teacher had said to me, she saw it in my hand, and she said, "Nobody writes like Dickens," which kind of blew me away. And then she kind of leaned in really close and said, oh, I forgot to look up the quote in my brain before I started this, but let me see what she said. She said, "The window was frosted over with rime, as if goblins had been crying on the windowsill all evening." I love Jack Kerouac, Neil Cassidy, and Allen Ginsberg, and Big Ed Dunkel. Anyways, this isn't about them. Getting off track, forgive. This is about a writer that I got into immensely. Way too much, in fact. And that writer is Hunter S. Thompson. And I was very straight edge in school. I didn't do any drugs when I was younger, and I didn't even drink alcohol or anything, right? And I'm not I didn't used to. I got into Hunter S. Thompson younger, as a kid, and I read everything that he ever wrote. And a lot of things that people step over and forget about when talking about Hunter S. Thompson is they always go to the gonzo journalism and the craziness and the drugs and the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and they don't sit down and think, dear God, this man could write, and he could write because he experienced it. I mean, read Hell's Angels, and you'll see that book is just, oh shit, I ruined it. I'll cut it. I cut it. Don't worry. Go read the book. Spoilers for everything for Hunter S. Thompson. Like everything. Grew up in Colorado, and in my literature life, it was Colorado. And Hunter S. Thompson lived in Woody Creek, Colorado, which is far away from where I lived in Manitou Springs. However, I was such a huge fan of his that all my life I had planned to go up to Woody Creek and see him, because I'd read all about his adventures in Woody Creek, and I'd written letters to him and all sorts of stuff, but I knew where he hung out. I don't know, it's a stalker-ish thing. Sorry. Big fan of Hunter Thompson, okay? And before Fear and Loathing came out, he was accessible. You could talk to him and that sort of thing. After that, he was always popular, but once the movie came out, then but I went to Woody Creek when I was a kid. I went to Woody Creek Tavern, and I went with Sarah. I guess, yeah, she was my girlfriend. Well, my girlfriend Sarah, and we drove in her car, a little black thing, and we drove, and it was during when the aspens were turning, so we drove through all of these beautiful yellow, amazing aspens, and it was sunny, kind of a little cold, not too cold, cold enough to be fashionable, and we drove all the way through the aspens, because Aspen, Colorado is right next to Woody Creek, Colorado, basically the same town. But it's far away from Manitou. I think it's like 2 hours the way that we took. We went like the long way also. But we went there because there wasn't like tweets and stuff in those days, I found out, I forget how I found out, but I found out that he was going to be in Woody Creek for a little while. I don't know, whatever I heard. And so, I knew he hung out at this tavern. So we went up to the tavern, and we got there, and it was like kind of midday. Sat down and all this stuff. And, I told the lady I was exactly my intentions, and she was like, yeah, that's fine. She's like, but don't bug him. She's like, he's friendly, but just, go sit over there. She's like, it might be a long time before he even comes in. He may not even come in. If he does come in, he may stay forever, or he may, And she's like, so you can't bug him. So the only thing that I'll do is you go and sit over there. If he comes in, I'll let him know. And if he calls you over, then you can talk to him. If he doesn't call you over, leave him alone. So, and I was like, okay. And this was like before the movie. It was like, fuck this guy. Who's this guy? But so we sat there for, I don't know, we were there for maybe 20 minutes, and we were gonna go play like a game or something. And he came in, and I sat there, and I freeze up around celebrities. I can't handle it. People know that. So the Ryan Reynolds story is true. I don't know why I freeze up. Celebrities are no better than anyone else. Okay, I get that. But you look in Ryan Reynolds' ice blue eyes and see what you have to say. Okay. Moving on, getting back. So Hunter Thompson was, so he came in and he sat down at, I guess he sat at the bar. I was sitting at the table, and I was doing my best not to look over at him, so I'm not staring like I'm already being creepy. But he was my hero, and we were sitting there for a little while, and then he turns and looks at us, and he looks and he waves over, and I got super excited and got up and I think I almost spilled a drink. I ran over there, and he's like, not you, jackass, the girl. And it was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And so I went to go back, and he's like, no, I'm just kidding with you. So I got to meet him, and it was great. And yeah, anyway, but also I had read every book that he had written, and I even met James Carville not too much longer after that in Mandalay Bay. I happened to be there, and he happened to be there, and I happened to recognize him, and I said, what did I say? Oh, something, I don't know what to say. I never know what to fucking say, okay? But I was like, James Carville said it, I said it kind of weird like that, and he's like,